Welcome once again to Humanist TV Africa, the only channel where you get things the way they are, and of course, you get things in the most rational, most deliberate, most intentional, and most well researched way. This is the only TV where you find things that are given in a verified way, that are given in a researched way, that are scientifically driven, that are purpose driven, and are meant to change attitudes, are meant to change the paradigm shift, so that people, especially people back in Africa, can take things under control and can regain their confidence and do things the best way possible. Now, this is Kato Mukasa for Humanist TV Africa, and in the studio is Dennis Bongole, who is based in Uganda and ensures that I will do air this program. Of course, I have a team of other producers, including Brian Kabeko, who is based in Kenya, and of course, we have Nana Kufo, based in Ghana. Now, we have another team of strong hosts and, of course, panelists spread across Africa. We have a team in Ghana, we have a team in Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Kenya, and Sierra Leone, and of course, we are still growing wings, including, of course, South Africa. Now, this is Humanist TV Africa, where things happen, and reaching out to humanity is our catchword. Now, we have different programs, and I've been saying it that we shall be having daily programs on this show. Please, if you haven't subscribed, this is your chance to do so. Please subscribe to YouTube channel. Our Facebook page is Humanist TV Africa. Our YouTube channel has the same name, Humanist TV Africa. Please look for it, subscribe, share it, encourage your friends to share it, and encourage them to spare some time, spare some data, put on Quet on their phone, their gadgets, Wi-Fi, and be able to watch these shows. These are very informative shows, and trust me, if you continue watching these shows, you are going to change the way you look at things. And if you're a parent, you have children, if you're a teacher, you have students, if you are a mentor, if you're any person who has influence and want to influence others, this is the best channel for you, because we do research and we ensure that we give you the best of everything that we tackle. We are going to be having live talk shows where we are going to be interviewing people from the streets of Ghana, Nigeria, Kampala, Kenya, Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We shall be giving you live feeds, live talk shows where you get to know what's happening in different parts of Africa as they happen. This is TV Africa. Remember, Africa with their 55 countries or states, and still growing. We are a force to reckon with. We shall be giving you news as it happens across Africa, but of course, giving you also updates around the world. Now, welcome again to Human TV Africa, and of course, we shall be having a program today. Today, our new program starts with profiling. The new program is called Profiles. And today, number one on the show of Profiles is Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. Now, welcome with me as I'm going to be discussing a great man that I admired so much, A man killed so early, a man assassinated so early, a man who became a president of a great country at only 33 years, and a man who only ruled for barely 4 years, and a man who was brutally assassinated on the 15th day of October 1987, a man who died so early, who was born on 21st day of December 1949. Thomas Sankara is the guy I'm going to talk about, the best leader that region has ever produced. I'll repeat it. The best leader that region has ever produced was none other than Thomas Sankara. Now, welcome to this show. I'm going to be talking about Thomas Sankara. Who was he? What did he do? Who did I annoy? Why was he killed? And what happened to those who killed him 25 years later when he had been assassinated? Remember, I said he came, he saw, and he conquered and inspired people and he touched lives. This one young man, because people normally think that you must be so old to change the world. Sankara became a president at 33. Yet before becoming a president, he was a prime minister at a very young age. And in 4 years, he did things that have never happened in Burkina Faso up to today. That even Kampol, who betrayed him and actually killed him, failed to do what Sankara did in 4 years. Yet he was there for so many years. Now, welcome to this program. I'm going to be talking about Thomas Sankara, the man who died and left a widow, Mariam, and only two children who have now become big persons, but a person who died so early. Now, I'm going to be discussing this man. I'll request our producer to put photos because I'm going to be speaking as we keep on seeing these photos so that you can able see the images of this man. They're going to be almost the same images for this man, but I want you to keep on seeing it because it's not about me. It's about Thomas Sankara, the man who inspired me to love Marxism, the man who inspired me to love Pan-Africanism, the man who inspired me to love um, humanism. This man was Thomas Sankara. Now, on the map, we see that is the map of uh, uh, today we call it Burkina Faso, but it was called Upper Volta. This country was ruled by the French. In fact, the French stole from this country. As you may know, whenever they have been, the French basically have been known for stealing from these countries. And this was one of their victims. This country known as Burkina Faso was one of the victims of the French imperialism. Now, when you look at Burkina Faso, it neighbors with Ghana, it neighbors with Cote d'Ivoire, it neighbors with Benin, Niger, Mali. That is Burkina Faso. And the capital state was Ouagadougou. The capital state, Ouagadougou. Of course, we have other cities there. We have Fadanguma, we have Tenkodogo, we have Kodugo, we have Dedugo, we have Ouagadougou, and we have Kaya, Bobo Dioussoula, Bamfora, Atena, Kunu. All these are cities. It's not a big country, incidentally. It's not a big country, incidentally. It's been affected by the Sahara Desert. And of course, one of the things which Sankara did, as I'm going to be showing you, was actually to do what we call desertification, ensure that a desert becomes Arab land. How did he do it? But not first. Let us go back to this man who's Thomas Sankara. That's the country, very small. Dennis, I would suggest that we first add everyone. If they are there, if you have only one person, let us not add any other, because I will not tolerate getting off because someone is coming in until when we sort this one out. If you have only Nana, that will be only Nana now, because I realize that whenever someone joins in, I have to get off. I think let us not add any other panels. Nana, welcome.
Thank you, Comrade Katu. And I'm really sorry for the glitch.
It's not your fault. Welcome, Abasi.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Producer, it does not add any other person because it happens that whenever we add people, I have to get off until when we fix this, and then it does not add anyone else. Now, today, members, you found me handling Burkina Faso, and of course, today this is a program called Profiles, where we shall be profiling great leaders, not only in Africa, throughout the world. Not only in Africa. I shall be talking about politicians in the US, in the UK, in Scandinavian countries, all over Africa, leaders, personalities who never even became leaders. We shall be talking about them under this one program called Profiles. But of course, I'm going to start with Africa. Having done Africa, then I will go to the rest of the world. Now, today I'm handling one great man called Thomas Sankara, and the viewers have already heard me saying that he was born on the 21st day of December 1949 and was killed on the 15th day of October 1987. Who was Thomas Sankara? Is the great guy we are talking about today. Thomas Sankara is one leader, one man who was born in Upper Volta. Upper Volta is a country in West Africa that neighbors Ghana, Niger, and of course Togo, and of course Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin, and Mali. Now, that's the country, as you can see, the map. That is Burkina Faso. Then let's leave it there as I explained Burkina Faso. It's a small country. It's actually, much of it was a desert, but who made it more Arabic, more Arable land? That was one man called Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara planted 10 million trees, planted 10 million trees to chase away desert from Burkina Faso. Now, let me go back a bit. Don't leave them up there. Let me go back a bit to explain who was this guy, Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara, as I said, is born on 21st December 1949, and he joins the army later on as a youth, joins the army and becomes so influential in the army, and he's promoted. He's promoted early enough, early enough, early enough to become a captain, early enough to become a captain, and so much loved. Thomas Sankara was so intelligent in terms of oratory, was a very good speaker, always wore a smile, was a tall man, very handsome, and sociable and sociable. So he was loved by the soldiers so much. Now, as a young man, he joined the movement that was agitating for independence. Remember that Burkina Faso was Upper Volta, was under the hands of imperialists. We, of course, now know as the French government. The imperialists, of course, took over Mali, Niger, and Benin, Cote d'Ivoire. The French, of course, those are the imperialists that actually owned, I will use the word owned, Upper Volta, and had a stake, as I will explain later, had a stake in the death of Thomas Sankara. But let me go back to how Thomas Sankara rose to become a prominent leader. Dennis, I will invite you to show us now the photos of Sankara as I keep on explaining. Let the photos move. I keep on explaining who he was. Then my other colleagues will come in. You can see 1949 to 1987. That was Sankara. Sankara was a young man, very young man, a bit tall, black, of course, and very charismatic. They have called him an iconic leader. They have called him a liberation leader. Now, when Sankara was a youth in the army, he was a friend to the president, to the man who became a president, as Jean Batista Odrago. who became a president, the first president of Upper Volta. Now, he made him a prime minister. He was so young, by 30 years old, the guy was so young to become a prime minister. Yeah. So, and he never took it upon himself to brag around. He became an instant leader. He took his position as a leader. Everyone began seeing something different with this young man. Thomas Sankara was a very great orator who could speak so well. He was so articulate. He was so fast. He was so astute. He was also upright. Now he became a prime minister at such a young age, and people loved him more than the president. Now there was a problem. There was confusion. There was corruption in the government. Sankara used to say, we cannot be independent of the French when they still dictate how we do our affairs in this country. So as a prime minister, Sankara began resisting, saying that the French are saying we are free, but in practice, they are still controlling us. Why are we still borrowing money from IMF? Why are we still borrowing money from World Bank? As a prime minister, he was always disagreeing with his president. Now there was a problem. The president got annoyed and put him in prison. The prison was a form of home arrest. Sankara had a wife, a young lady called Mariam. By then, they had a child. By that time, they had only one child. So he was put in house arrest, and he refused, of course, to back down. He refused to agree with the president and the council. He was telling them they must stop corruption. He was telling them they must cut ties from the French completely. He was saying, if you're going to be free, let us be free in practice, not free on paper. So he was put now under house arrest. The year was 1980, 1983. Now, house arrest, 1983. And what happened is that there were people in the army who loved Sankara more than the president. Now, the soldiers themselves, without Sankara telling them, took over government in a coup. The soldiers, without Sankara telling them, because remember, Sankara was under prison at his own house. And then the soldiers made a mutiny or a coup and took over government. They shot around bullets, took over government. The president had to leave. Now, that's how Jean Bastas or Drago left. Now, when the president left, was moved from power, the soldiers themselves went, picked Thomas Sankara from his house, and declared him the next president. The guy became a president without firing a bullet. He became a president by the soldiers putting him there because he was already under house arrest. Now, the soldiers appointed him and they said, from today, you are our leader. From today, you are the president of Burkina Faso. Now, he became so young a president that at the age of 33, he was the youngest president by then in that region. So he became a young president at 33, and he was the most revolutionary president that country has ever seen up to now. When he took over power, he announced immediately that the name of the country must change. He said that the name was French. He said that the French had stolen enough from their country, and he wanted them out of their system. He was categorically clear, said, I want the French system out, and I will start with the name. So he changed the name, which they had given them, Upper Volta, and he called it Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, which means the land of the incorruptible people. The land of incorruptible people, people who cannot be corrupted. He said this country must be governed from new principles. We are not going to be corrupted. We are a people that are going to be free from corruption. And Burkina Faso means the land of incorruptible people. So that was Sankara. He says, from henceforth, I'm the president at 3 years, and my country is going to be no corruption zone. What did he do immediately on getting power? He began by forming tribunals. Tribunals are like courts, those of you who know some bit of law. And he started by prosecuting every public officer that was stealing money. He put them in prisons. Some of them were shot. He cleaned the system. That's why I loved Sankara. And Sankara openly said, I am a Marxist. Sankara openly said that he was a Marxist. Another reason why I loved him. He was purely Marxist. Marxists don't believe in corruption. Marxists believe in welfare of all, or for all, not for few. Marxists don't like capitalism that much. Because of that, Thomas Sankara was hated by what? Number one, the French government, because it stopped them from stealing their resources in Burkina Faso. Number two, IMF. Number three, World Bank. Now, those three institutions, one is the government, the French government. He told them, I don't want anything to do with French government if you're going to continue stealing from us. Number two, I don't want to take loans from IMF and World Bank if you're going to give us stupid loans and bankrupt our country. You can imagine a young president at 33 years saying, we don't want your loans. And he said, we can get money within Burkina Faso. He said, if you're going to give us loans, we must have agreed on terms, and those terms must be free, must be favorable to our people. Don't make us poor through your stupid loans. So Sankara is the only president by that time who stood up against World Bank, who stood up against IMF and said, enough of your thuggery. We are not going to take it anymore as Africans. We can do it on our own. Sankara, at an early age of 33, said no to stupid loans from IMF and World Bank. And do you think World Bank was happy? They were never happy. Why? Because they benefit by giving us loans. I always say, as an economist, that please don't take World Bankers' money as something they give you with a good heart. Never. World Bank gives money to us so that they can steal from us, so that we can beg them, so that they can impoverish us. One day I will come with that kind of talk, and I show you how bad World Bank can be and how bad IMF has been to Africa. Now, Thomas Sankara, as early as 1983, Thomas Sankara had seen that World Bank is a thief and the IMF is another thief that are stealing from Africans and from poor economies. They give you loans and they take too much from you. They give you loans, they have their companies running all over, managing your resources, stealing from, taking raw materials from you because they have given you some cramps called loans. Now, Sankara was headed by one, the French, by two, World Bank, by three, IMF, because he said no to you. What